Good morning. I was outside about 2 years ago, give or take about 2 years. I'm not sure how long ago, but a while. And Otts, one of our board members, and his wife Vonda, pinned me down in the back, and they're like, "Vince, you need to talk about money." And I said, "No one struggles with money." FYI, I also said this about the homosexuality issue. No, it's over, right? We don't have to deal with that anymore. No, we still do. Highest downloaded message ever. Anyways, they sit down. They're like right in my face. I'm like, no, you seriously need to do this. I'm going, but there's no problems. People don't struggle. Now, Otts is an accountant. So I assumed, or no, maybe assume's probably the wrong word. I wanted to mentally joust with him. So you know how psychologists always are like, everybody has mental health issues because that's all the people they see, right? I was like, haha, Otts, you deal with only people like who are struggling financially. That's who comes to you. What's the average amount that one of your clients makes? He said $180,000 a year. I said, how many of them are struggling? He said about 50%. Consistently spend more than they make. I said, sorry, can you back that up again and say that in English to me? Because if you gave me $180,000 a year, I'm pretty sure I could do some good work with that. He said, no. People are struggling. I sat with it for 2 years. I argued with him in my head. I don't know how many times. I was like, no, it's not an issue. Come on. I did a bunch of research. Can you throw up the slide about the debt? Currently, total consumer debt in Canada hit a historic high of $2.5 trillion with a T. Credit card balances continue at a more rapid pace of growth, increasing 9.2% year over year. That's the bad debt. People say, 65% of people say, money is their highest stress of their life. 85% say it is a consistent and ongoing stress. I think we can all say Otts and Vonda were right. Vince was wrong. Sit with it for a minute. We're in the middle of a trade war with our biggest trading partner. If cars go up by 25%, can you afford to replace your car when you need to? If the recession that the experts are saying is going to hits, how long till you owe more on your house than your mortgage? Sorry, let's try that in English. How long till you owe more on your house than it's worth? That's not a great feeling, is it? People are already changing their grocery buying habits because of the price of groceries. Something changes in your job and suddenly you have to downgrade your income. Can you keep living that way? Go online and look at the news. Chances are you will find some story that tells you the end is in sight on the bad side. It's just getting worse. How many of us are feeling stress around money right now? 50% of people spending more than they make. 65% say it's their highest stressor in their lives. The reason it took me so long to talk about this is because I said the problem is a math problem. Isn't it? Money is just math. You take your income, you subtract your expenses, you get a number. What do I have to say about this? But they saw something I didn't see. Because for most of us, money is not math, I don't think. It's not as simple as saying A subtract B equals C. Here's my promise for you today. I am going to do my very, very best to help you get out of the financial stress. I'm not a miracle worker. It's not like I can just snap my fingers and make all your problems go away. But I think there's actually a problem around money that we can start to solve here and now, today, together. So here's my promise. I will not leave you in this dark hole of fear and stress. But in order to get you out of this hole, I need to dig it a bit deeper, okay? You guys are not nodding your heads. Just fix it, Clausen, enough. Okay, if finances is purely math, can you put up the website for me? If finances is purely math, there are probably some financial principles that we might talk about. This is Friends Church. I don't get to tell you what the right answer is. That's not how it works here. So here's what I'm going to do. Everyone take out your phones. You get to play with your phones today. Take out your phones. When you get a sense, talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to throw up a website. It's a Menti website. It basically means you get to put in your information. Go to menti.com and type in that number, 71495854. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to rate to see. I came up with 5 financial practices that I thought were good. I want you guys to see if you agree with me or if you disagree. Make sense? Menti.com. I'll read the number for you once more. 71495854. M-E-N-T-I. M-E-N-T-I. Guess that is kind of small for all of us who have bifocals nowadays, right? Menti.com, I'll read the number once more for you. 71495854. Here's what I want you to do. Go in there and rate on a scale of 1 to 5, whether you strongly agree that this is a good financial principle, you maybe agree a little bit, you don't agree at all, you think, Vince, you're full of crap, you don't know anything. Perfect. Ooh, that's getting there. Okay, just take a minute. I should have got you guys to play some music right now so you guys could have something to do. No smartphones? Just want everyone to know that Dave Montgomery is a saint because he didn't bring his phone in. Okay, I'm going to let you guys keep going with this. So here's what we're looking. The first one, good financial practice that I'm proposing. Spending less than you have, not using credit to finance purchases. So far, you guys are in pretty good agreement. 4.6, 4.7 out of 5. That's pretty solid. Knowing your current financial position, what you owe and your assets. That's a really good one. 4.9. 4.8 is dropping. Okay. So you guys are in agreement with there. Knowing and taking advantage of your financial opportunities. That one seems to be doing pretty good. Again, 4.6, you guys agree. Having a financial cushion to deal with life's changes in work, life, economy, health. Don't impulse spend. Spend your financial values. That one's not, no one's agreed. That's a little less agreement. Life's a little less fun when you're not impulse spending, right? I can see that. Okay. We've had 36 people enter their information. It looks like it's getting fairly stable. 4.4 out of 5. 4.6. So we're doing pretty good. For the most part, you agree that these are fairly decent financial practices, right? Okay. If this was the message, we could just stop it here and you'd all be like, well, but here's the piece that I want you to focus on. Can you go to the next slide for me, please? How good are you currently at these practices? Look inside. This is all, I don't keep any of your data. I can't track who you are. This is 100% anonymous. There's no way for anyone to see how you answered. But take a minute and answer this. Wow. Spending less than you have, somewhere around the 2.9 mark. Knowing your current financial position, about 4, so that one's solid. Knowing and taking advantage of your financial opportunities, 3.4, 3.3. Having a financial cushion to deal with changes in your life, 3.1. Don't impulse spend, 3. Okay, put your phones down for a second. This is the most important part of the message. If you don't remember anything but this, here's what I want you to pay attention to. I did not ask you to do a self-reflection to make you feel shame or guilt or feel bad. I did it for this one reason, and this is the piece of the message I want you to pay attention to. Sit quietly for a moment. If you have to close your eyes, you can. What are the voices in your head saying to you right now after you answered those questions? What are the parts saying to you right now? Is it positive? Is it negative? Okay, you drop the website. This whole series, the last 2 series, have been based on the work of a guy named Schwartz, who said there's a way of looking at our internal life, a metaphor that says we are made up of different parts. And the different parts inside of us care about different things. I have a part that cares very much about having an equal amount of give and take in a relationship. It's a part of me. If I feel like I'm giving more than I'm getting, that part freaks out. My wife's like giving me a little smile. It's not good. There's this idea that says, from the wounds of our childhood, and I'm going to talk a bit more about that one, where that one came from at the end. But there's this idea that says there's these parts, things that happen in our childhood, in our past, that feels horrible. It's a bully's laughter, a moment of failure, a time when we were hurt. And Schwartz's idea says we are so desperate to not feel those feelings again. We create this whole group of protector parts that keep control of our lives to try and make sure we don't feel that again. And if by some horrible failure of our protector parts, and we start to feel those feelings, we have another set of protector parts that try and get us out at all costs. Often addictions comes in that second part. I feel this feeling that I so don't want to feel, and so I engage in my addiction, and it shakes me out of that, and I don't feel it anymore. I'm over here. Protector parts run lots of our lives. The technical term is they blend. They become us. We don't see them as separate. You notice I keep talking about parts over here? No, Vince, this is me. The technical term is blended. But Schwartz said there's a part of us, and this is what I'm trying to bring you guys to, and Jeff too. We're trying to get you to this place of saying, oh wait, there's parts over here, but I have a true self. Vince, there's the characteristics of my true self. I'm calm, clear, compassionate, I'm curious. Curious is like you hear a voice in your head and you're like, oh, I wonder what that voice is worried about. Someone snaps at us and you're like, oh, I wonder what I hit. When we live out of true self, we can live the lives that we truly want. When we live in parts controlling our life, they care about one thing, not experiencing whatever horrible feelings that we've felt in our past. Okay. So I deliberately put you guys into a situation where I asked you about money. I had you quantify what is good and bad in money. And then I made you, like the a-hole that I am, answer the questions, how are you doing on that? Consistently under We say, hey, we think it should be this value. We're doing it at this value. So can we all just look back at Otts and Vonda and give them a head nod and say, you were right, Vince was wrong. But the most important part is, what do the voices say in your head? What are the protector parts saying to you about your finances? This is the part where I can fix it. Again, if it's just math, we don't have to worry about any about this. But the reality is, most of us know what to do. We're just not doing it. Can you throw up the first protector part? This is mine. Remember a couple weeks ago I told you I have an old Mennonite who sits right here? He's like this farmer dude. He just leans over. Every time I'm sitting on the couch, he just leans over, takes a little piece of straw out of his mouth. Into my left ear, he's like, what are you, lazy? I'm like, screw you! Work out and like fix something, or I'm not in true self. I'm like, screw you! Oh, he also has another line I just realized in prepping for this message. What do you think, money grows on trees? Sorry, you want to spend that money right now? Do you think it grows on trees? You have to hoard that money. You don't spend it willy-nilly. Do you really need that? Really? Do you really need that? Don't put up your hand, but anyone have an old Mennonite or Russian or Ukrainian or money doesn't grow on trees? You know, honestly, a lot of that stuff I did pretty good on. You know what I didn't do good on? Seeing financial opportunities. That voice just says, no, you save. Okay, but no, you save. Okay, but you could actually make money. No, you save. My wife will see it. I'm like trying to buy like a $20 something or other. And I'm researching. She's like, buy it already. You have the money. Just go buy it. And I'm like, don't you know money doesn't grow on trees? Can you see how our parts impact our finances? I came up with a few more parts. See if any of these resonate with you. Can you do the next one? Anyone, again, don't put up your hand. Anyone, you suck at finances? You've had a bad time. You've maybe mismanaged it. There's been maybe a bankruptcy, a loss. Every time finances comes up, that voice is like, no, you suck at finances. Don't even look at it. You suck at this. Otts told me something that was really, really... Do you guys know what the word schadenfreude? To feel joy at somebody else's suffering? I had some schadenfreude, and you might too. A chunk of the people that he said are over-under financially spending more than they make are accountants. They know better. And they still can't do it. So next time your accountant says, you're spending more than you make, ask them, so how are you doing, by the way? One time my doctor told me, I was training for ultramarathons. She's like, and so how much exercise do you have? So I told her, and she's like, and I turned around and I was like, well, how are you doing on exercise? And she laughed. She's like, I watch my kids swim every week. Anyone have that voice? I'm not good at finances. As soon as I ask you to rate yourself, that voice says, no, but you suck at this. And its close friend, next one, you're not good at math. I've realized something. Numbers mean something to some people. And for other people, numbers don't mean anything. And I don't mean that in a crass way. I mean it in the truest sense. For some of us, we see a spreadsheet and we just see like blah, blah, blah. The Charlie Brown teacher? Wah, 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 wah. It's like you just look at this thing and you're like, oof. I even noticed sometimes when I write reports now, I color code them. If it's bad, it gets red. But if it's green, I put green. And people just look at it, they're like, how much green do I got? That's all I care. I don't even know what it is. Just tell me how much green I got. Some people, numbers don't have meaning. They're too abstract. Anyone have this I'm not good at math? Next one for me, Nathaniel. Make this feeling go away part. Oh, this is a firefighter. I'm feeling lonely, angry, bored, whatever bad feeling I'm feeling. All I need to do is go buy something new and I feel good. You don't need to put up your hand, but Facebook Marketplace. If I feel my thumb doing this through Facebook Marketplace, I'm just like now going, okay, what am I trying not to feel? I just want something new. I want the joy of shopping. I want the exploration. I used to be a buyer to buy outdoor gear, like Mountain Equipment Co-op stuff. I shopped for a living. I loved that. I knew every weight, every price. How much of that is just trying to get away from the feelings we don't want to feel? Do you see how these parts run finances? Next one for me, Nathaniel. The image manager part. You need this so the world sees you as. This is I'll buy it because I must. I'll deal with the money stuff later. I have to have this. Can I afford it? That's not an issue. I need this because I need the world to see me a certain way. Anyone have those parts? Next one, Nathaniel. Oh, this one's ugly. The critical part. You don't deserve anything more than what you have. It's the shame part. We're going to do a book club on shame in this parts work. I think there's growth and health there. Some of you who are struggling, who are overspend, are going, I wish I had that critical part. It's stopped me from spending. But for the people who have this, every purchase is like kind of a knife. Next one for me. There's a victim part here too. This idea that we are owed something. I remember someone saying to me once they couldn't afford a new smartphone. They told me that. A couple weeks later they show up with a brand new smartphone. And I was like, how'd that happen? They said, Vince, don't you know? It's a basic human right. They weren't joking. Think of the parts that we go, no, I deserve that. And when that part spends our money, you get a new smartphone when you can't afford it. Next one for me. Remember I talked a couple of weeks ago about a spiritualizer? The part of us that keeps us in communities. If you grew up in a traditional Christian community, it's the part that kept you in the community. It said, don't do this, you have to hide this, you can't do that, you talk this way, you don't talk this way. And anyone who's outside the group were like, you're bad, you're not doing it right. It doesn't just happen in spiritual groups. Any group has this. It's the part that keeps you in the group, doing it right, not asking questions you're not supposed to ask, not behaving the way you're not supposed to ask. Traditional Christian rhetoric around money is evil. You heard the line, it's harder for a rich man to get into the kingdom of heaven than for a camel to go through the eye of a needle. The message was, money's bad. You can't show your money. Story about the rich young ruler. A guy comes to Jesus, he's dressed very nicely. As soon as we hear rich young ruler, we're like, oh, he's bad. Because the spiritualizer part says money's bad. So I can't wear my Rolex to church. Anyone have a spiritualizer that's tied to money? Last one. I'm not safe without X number of dollars in my bank account. Anytime I sit down with a new couple, at some point I ask each of them separately, what's the minimum amount you need to have in your bank account to feel safe? I have never met a couple who has the same number. One's like $85. Next one's like $20,000. No, $40,000. Let's just be safe. Can you hear the part that says, no, I'm not safe right now. I need something over here. These are just the parts I came up with. Chances are when you start to think deeply about your finances and you realize that there's a true self and there's a parts of you that are talking, you're going to start to hear the voices that say, spend. You need to. You can't. Money doesn't grow on trees. Could it be that we don't have financial problems so much as having parts problems? Now, that's not to say sometimes our lives are impacted in ways we can't control. And it impacts our finances. When parts are running our lives, we can say, that's not fair. I am owed. When we're in true self, we say, wow, that kind of sucks. What do I need to do to get back to financial health? What decisions do I need to make? The whole theory about this work is we don't villainize parts. Amber, if you go back, the Hijack series we did recently, I interviewed her. She self-identifies as a 12-stepper, has an addict part she calls Johnny on good days. There's bad days that she has another name for him. It's one of those I guess you could say it at Friend Church, but whatever. she's giving me you probably don't want to say that out loud. When you look at the parts that are speaking to you, the ones that are causing you let me say it differently. The ones that want you to make decisions that are not healthy financially. Be very careful. The parts that want you to spend or not spend for reasons that have nothing to do with your values. When you villainize them, when you tell them to shut the hell up, get out of my life, I don't want to hear anything from you, what happens? They get louder. The way forward is to not fight them, but to realize they are trying to do something for you. Talked to a guy this week. Do you guys know the word CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy? It's basically how you fight an internal part. He's like, I've been self-CBTing like crazy for the last couple weeks. How's it going? I was like, he's not. I've been fighting these things for weeks, and they're just getting worse and worse. Internal family systems, this idea of parts, you say this. You see the part that wants you to go online and shop, or the part that wants you to buy something new that would make you feel good. And you go, hey, I see you. See what you're trying to do for me. You're trying to protect me from feeling lonely or judged. Thank you. Thank you for trying to protect me. But I'm actually okay right now. My true self can make this decision. Try it right now. That voice that we brought up, the one that I poked by making you do that horrible survey. Just in your mind say, thank you for trying to protect me. Maybe you can't even do that. Maybe you're just still like, it's the frickin' devil in there. Even the fact that you see it as separate than you is the beginning of this. If you can do more, you can thank it. The number of you that have come to me this last couple of weeks, you'll say things like, oh, a part of me is, oh, I have this part. Actually, last night, I'm going to throw my wife out. I said something. I went dirt biking. I beat to hell. My old body can hardly move. I'm trying to get out of the couch like an old man. She's like, little sore. And I'm like, nope, I'm fine. She's like, is that a part? First, that was a little judgy. And second, you're probably right. Crap. I very quickly realized in my family, my mom was always trying to figure out a way to get us to rest because of her parts. If you admit you were hurting, that was a reason to rest. That part is still inside of me going, no, don't admit you're sore. Don't admit you're tired. That just takes away the fun. Even seeing the part as a part, even if you can't talk to it yet, even seeing it as something separate than you. Oh yeah, that's my mom's voice. Oh yeah, the old Mennonite who just wants me to never sit on the couch and relax. Take a minute and say to that part inside your mind, thank you for protecting me around my finances. I know it feels wrong, but whatever. But I have it now. I'll decide what needs to get spent and what doesn't. A member of our community came up with this great metaphor. She's like, when I have a big decision, I sit down, call all my parts, we have a big town hall meeting. What do y'all got? She's like, here's the rules. Y'all get your say, but I decide the timeline and I decide the direction we go. But I listen to them. I honor them. What are you scared of? What are you worried of? What can't you stand anymore? Could it be that we do not have so much financial problems as parts running our finances? I told you I could find you a way forward. I can't solve your finances like this. I wish I could. But my encouragement for you is this. Start paying attention to which parts care about how you use your money. I have a part that does not want to lose money ever. I will never gamble money. Going to Vegas is the dumbest thing I can think of. Putting $5 in a slot machine, that guy on my shoulder is freaking out. $5. Can you see your parts? And instead of villainizing them, instead of feeling the shame part, because I'm guessing some of you are feeling a lot of shame right now where it's like, oh, I suck. It's just another voice of another part. If you're feeling exhausted right now, by the way, that's another part. The one that makes you want to go to sleep. It helps you get out of these situations. So here's your homework if you're open to it. This next week, if you're partnered, it's even better because your partner can point out stuff whether you like it or not. Actually, I will say this. Some of the most beautiful work of my life is because my partner can show me things I can't see. My first reaction might be, and I think, oh, I would not have seen that without her voice. If you're partnered, use your partner. What parts are impacting my finances? If we can get our true self to manage our money, we believe everything will change. Amen? Okay, we're not quite done yet, though. I know you're like, ready to jet. Okay, this is the last. We've done two series. One we did was called Hijack, which is the beginning of this IFS work. This one was the voice of protector parts, because it's hard to see these things, right? till someone points them out, or till it's like what the voices are talking to me, the parts of me are talking to me. I can't even tell they're me. They just sound like me. So we did this series to help you find health. But it's deeper than that. We have this founding story that we call the Castle in the Well. You guys have heard it. It's this idea that there's this landowner who had a tract of land, and there was a well in the middle of the land. And the landowner said, anyone who needs water, come and get it. And everywhere you looked from that well, it was green and lush and beautiful. The entire countryside was blessed by that water. They brought life. The landowner had to leave. So he left the well in the hands of the people there. And very quickly they started to go, wait a second. A part in me says, what happens if we run out of water? What if somebody wants more water than I get? And so they built a set of walls around that well. Controlled who was in, who was out, who could have access to the water, who couldn't. And very quickly, when you stood at that well and you looked around, the world around went from green to brown to dead. We said we will not be a church that builds walls, but think for a second, what is that water? What is the water that brings life all around it? Could it be something inside of each of us? Something we can be generous with? Could it be the fact that as we do this parts work and we come into true self, we get more regulated? We don't get freaked out by things. We're not causing more problems when someone gets a little excited about us. We're not freaking out right back. We're going, oh, hey, what's going on? You seem pretty upset. Could our regulation be water that we could give to the world? Could it be our time, our talents, our wisdom, our finances? All of you who supported Mike Hansen from our community, 10 marathons in 10 provinces, raised $1 million. Children's sports. All of you who donated money to meet the need and bringing in money. Families who are having, in Calgary, who are malnourished, like legit malnourished. And you said, no. That is water that I can give. I can give money to my meat for families. Do you see the water? It's not just some spiritual abstraction. It's the thing that makes the world around you green. And as we do this parts work, what I found is when my parts are freaking out, they build walls. And all of my water stays inside. As I do this work, it's like taking this brick and it's like slowly moving it off. The other day, a while ago, I've had this memory of my childhood that it sat with me for a very long time. It's me as a little boy on the carpet in the hallway in front of the bathroom. The door's closed, there's a light on underneath. And I'm waiting. And I wait so long that I have to calm myself. So I tell myself, just go to sleep and it will go away. I've had parts protecting that memory for years. I finally went and worked with my counselor and freed that memory up. It doesn't make sense to you, I get it, but for me, that memory is so core. I have protected myself around making sure I get enough, that my well is protected. I've built walls around this thing. I have whole tally sheets about, okay, who gets water from me, who doesn't. As that's healed, it's like the walls are just kind of going away. I can feel moments where I'm like, oh, normally I'd have a part freaking out right now. Can you throw up the model for me? You might be coming here to Friends Church, and you're on the bottom left. You're an eye. You're looking at your well, and this is what it looks like. Hello. There's nothing in there. You drop the rock in, to hear where the water level is. It's like, your well is empty. So the beginning of this work is to help you start to find health. Figure out what parts are running your life, what parts are sabotaging you, so that this well starts to fill up. You're not going to the bank every time going, oh, I overspent again, and now I have nothing, and now I'm struggling to pay whatever, and I can't, and this is so much stress, I'm dying. That's the empty well. And for you, that's all you can do, and that's fine. But we have a hidden agenda that I'm about to tell you, so it's not really that hidden. We are trying to inspire you up. As you do this work, that well starts to fill. Let's use finances as an example. As you start to control the impulse parts that are saying you have to do this and you must do this and you've got to spend over here, suddenly what happens is your true self runs your finances and the well gets full. And one day you're going to look at it and be like, I have enough. You'll freak out for a while and build walls for a while after that, just so you know. It's too freaky. But then you start to realize, wait a second, I don't need to anymore. And as you heal the parts, you take the bricks of the wall around that well down. And you start into that first part of we. You look at the people closest to you and you're like, hey, how are you doing? How do I make your life green and lush? Over time, you'll create a community around you of we that's beautiful and reciprocal. Your relationship starts to get healthier. You start to have connections the way you want. Things aren't so draining anymore. And over time, as we do this work further, suddenly you'll look at that top part of we, and you start not just looking at people you know, you're looking at random people. Malnutrition, great, I'm in. How do I help? If organization needs some help, how do I volunteer? What can I be a part of? Tiny homes for homeless people. You start to look at the world differently. You're saying, how do I make the entire world green? Because I have enough. I don't need to hoard it anymore. And if we can inspire you long enough, one day you'll stand at that well and you'll look around your life, and instead of seeing the brown and the dead, you'll start to see lush green world. Because you took water. I don't know where you are in this, but this is what Friends Church is trying to do with all of this work. Inspire you to health so you change the world. But here's the thing. This doesn't happen in a minute. It doesn't just happen by going, I know there's a part of your brain possibly, I should say it this way. Some of you probably have a part of your brain that's telling you right now, you'll never get there. You suck. You're in too deep of a hole. You don't have enough for anyone else, never mind yourself. What are you even talking about, Clausen? Here's our encouragement for this last 2 weeks, the last 2 series. Pick the smallest change you can make right now. Maybe it's just identifying a voice as a part. Maybe it's talking to it in a nicer tone than you used to. Maybe it's changing its name from blah, 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 blah to Johnny. Maybe it's starting to work with it. Maybe it's getting help to heal it. Maybe you're realizing, no, my well is starting to fill up. And so now it's time to take the bricks down. And so you're starting to look around into your family and going, okay, how do I do this? How do I bring life to you? And some of you are at the edge going, no, I have enough. I just didn't realize I had enough. What could the world look like tomorrow if I gave some of this away? I was inspired by that world tomorrow. Tomorrow, my well could be a little fuller. Tomorrow, I might do better with my parts. Tomorrow, I might maybe take down some of that wall. Tomorrow, I might be able to do something for someone outside of me. I asked Alessandra to play that famous song, Tomorrow, to inspire you. Wherever you are today, take one step tomorrow. Whatever your step, towards this idea of making the entire world around us green. As she plays, think to yourself, what would the tomorrow be that you want to see? May your tomorrow be a little bit better than today. And may you do this work so one day the world around you is green because of the water you took. Amen? That's the official end. Thanks, everybody.